Hey guys, welcome back again. I'm Ted Hentschke, and this is another E3 2016 recap for DreadCentral.com. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about one of my most anticipated games of the show, Outlast 2. Now, I really liked Outlast 1, but it got kind of mixed reviews. A lot of people criticized its kind of bare-bones mechanics and short runtime. But really, I think a lot of people didn't like it because they felt it was a clone of Amnesia. Now, when anything comes out, especially in the indie market, if it's something like a previous indie hit, they're going to claim that it's a clone. And while the mechanics are certainly similar, I think that Outlast's tone, visual style, and setting really set it apart from Amnesia. I mean, just because both games involve you running away from things and hiding doesn't mean that they're the same game. And Amnesia definitely set itself apart as a much darker, more visceral game. Well, I don't want to say darker, but certainly bloodier. Amnesia was certainly more gothic. Also, I think that people then and now still are kind of over found footage, and so the fact that you were looking through a camera when you played, it reminded people of games like Slender and, movies like Paranormal Activity, that they were just kind of over at the time. That being said, it has a really, really, really robust fan following, and I think it's well deserved. I think that the team did a really good job with the first one, and I wanted to see what the folks at Red Barrels had for us for the second game. So I got to play the demo, and the demo was about 15 minutes long. I'm sure that there's more that you could have seen if you were really trying, but this was a pretty clipped demo that was running me through a few areas of the game. It starts off when your car crashes. Similar to the first, you're a journalist going to investigate crazy shit that no one else will. And the car crashes, and you go tumbling out, and you get separated from your partner. I don't know what role she plays in the game, but in the demo, it was mostly that you heard her screaming a couple times, and you're going towards where she was to try to find her. So, you get knocked out of the car, you put on your glasses, grab the camera, turn on the night vision, and, it's Outlast. Except this time around, it's not in an asylum. It's in a couple of places that I saw, but predominantly a village, like a farming town in the middle of nowhere. And it has this very backwoods, kind of like, when you played Resident Evil 4 and you saw these shacks kind of bayou, but also, Kentucky hillbilly cult vibe. One of the first images is an upside-down burning cross. So, you get some of this kind of satanic element to it. And the village itself is designed much more organically than the asylum was. Because the asylum was built to represent an asylum. There's the security station, there's the delousing area, there's the male ward, there's the female ward. In this, it's, houses in the middle of a town. So you'll see barns, you'll see little shacks, of various importance. So you never really know what you're going to find when you go into a room. You never really know what the design of that room's going to be. So with this larger area, though, they had to find ways to make it tense and claustrophobic. So the buildings, when you go inside, these houses, they're really tight. The hallways not hallways, but the streets you go down, they're all really cramped. The houses are very close together. There's litter, there's shit everywhere. It's all very disorganized. So they maintain that kind of cramped feel, but in a much larger space. And the best example of this is this part where you're going through a cornfield, and the cornfield, you're being chased by enemies through this cornfield. There's several enemies, and you have to hide in the corn. Now, the corn will hide you visually from them, and but it also obscures your vision a little bit, but they're still right next to you, so you're in this big area trying to find your way through, barely able to see in front of you, and constantly surrounded by danger. And if you get caught, you have to try to go reposition and hide yourself without getting lost in this massive cornfield. So that was really cool. You get to see a classroom, and what's interesting is that they do a good job of juxtaposing normal visuals with the fucked up shit. So it's just as fucked up as the original Outlast, but at one point you'll see a memorial, and the memorial will have a number of pictures on it and little lit candles, and then you'll see a church leading into not a church, a cross leading into a basement, and in the basement you'll find this tome and a weird symbol on the wall, and the next will be a pit of dead babies. Like, it'll go crazy, but it juxtaposes it with things that look normal. So, you're in this classroom, and the classroom is normal, but then you go into the hallway, and all the doors are locked, and you play a music box, and then all the doors start slamming and opening, and then a ghost pops out and goes blah. So that's another thing that's new, is that there's a supernatural element this time around. There was kind of a supernatural element in Outlast 1. I don't really want to talk about it because I don't know who's played the game, I don't want to spoil it. But Outlast 2 is a much more direct supernatural element. So, you're looking into this well, and a tongue will come out and wrap around your neck and drag you into the well, and then all of a sudden you're in a vent for a school. And then you'll crawl through the vent, and you'll be in this school hallway. And, the hallway will lead to someone being hung at the neck by the same tongue and dragged through the ceiling. And then in order to get out, you have to walk through the shining light that's in between two lockers that leads you to a new room. And that room, when you open the door, you'll be back in the farming village. Now, I highly doubt that that's how it's going to be structured in the main game. I think that this was just something that they did for the demo so that, you could see multiple areas of the game, pretty quickly. But still, the fact that there's like a more direct supernatural element with the tongue and the ghosts and the weird shit you see does set it tonally different than Outlast 1. The stories are connected, they said. They said that there is a direct connection between the two and it's in the same universe. So I'm looking forward to see how they bring it all together, but this one does feel very unique. So I got to ask the team a few questions about the game too, which was nice. I talked to the community manager and the lead artist. I say that with finger quotes because Red Barrel's studio doesn't use set jobs. So he's the lead artist, but he also will have to do some modeling, some programming, etc. And they explained to me that this is how they get their really unique feel. So it goes straight from the fucked up brains of the team, from their minds to paper into the game, without having to change hands multiple times. So you won't have to make a concept art to hand it to a modeler, and then the modeler, makes it, and then someone makes the levels, and then it all comes together. Now, this is like, they all are coming together on all of the ideas, and fleshing out their own ideas from step to step, so that there's no loss in the translation between them. They said it leads to some interesting situations, like there's hardly any concept art for the game, because they don't really have concept art, because they don't have to concept an art to hand to someone else. They can just do it themselves. So that is pretty cool, and it gives you kind of insight into how they think while developing this game, because that's like a really hard way to run a team, is to make everyone do a little bit of everything. Most people just want to do their specialty, and it requires some really serious talent to be able to do all those roles. So they also said that they are aware of the streamer, the YouTube fame of this, the Twitch TV fame of their game, with people playing it and, other people watching them get scared. I don't personally care for YouTube Let's Players doing scare games and stuff, but their insight as to why they were focusing on that was really useful to me, because they said that they don't really care if people buy their game. They just want to tell a great story and get it out there. And, a lot of developers don't really like how people would rather watch games than play them themselves, especially with horror games. But they said, we understand we're making a really scary game. Some people don't want to shit their pants all the time. So they just want to watch someone else play it, but still get that same narrative story. They said that some of their fans, have been emailing them about this nonstop and asking tons of questions, say they never even played the game. They just watched someone else do it. So the fact that they know this, and that they're tailoring a story to be really great to witness as well as play, is an interesting philosophy that I'll have to see how it pans out in the final product. But the demo ends with you getting your nuts ripped out, your stomach ripped out through your nuts. So, they're on the right track, I think, so far for the game. They said it's being released in fall of this year, so quarter 3, 2016, and I will have to see. That's kind of a weird date, especially because we're so close to it. They'll have to announce, within the next couple months, unless they just want to say, oh, it's coming out tomorrow, like they did with Amnesia: Machine for Bigs. That was the Chinese room, though, different development studio. But yeah, so when it finally comes out, I'll be able to give you a full review of it. But so far, the game is gorgeous as hell, a total mindfuck, and it's definitely an evolution of Outlast. This isn't just another asylum with another evil German doctor. I mean, I don't know if there's an evil German doctor in this one, but it's not an asylum for sure. So, check it out. Check out the trailer, see if you like it, and check out my next E3 recap, and check out the game when it comes out.